So we're going to talk American Soldier and the tour.
Okay.
And my first question, actually, because we've spoken about 10 times, 12 times by now, so I want to ask a little different. Why is it important for Queensryche to keep making new music?
I don't know if it is important. In a grand sense, other than it's what we do.
Right.
How you get you just get started doing something, and at some point in your life, usually you sort of start questioning why you're doing it, and the music thing just sort of, I don't know, it's just what we like to do. We like to make stuff, create things, and you get interested in something, and you just find at least for me, I find myself experimenting with music,
Yeah, because the reason I ask is sort of your peer group have gone to the best of, greatest hits, nostalgia tour, the Poisons, Def Leppards and all that. And you guys haven't done that. I mean, for example, yesterday in the show when you come out and you do 5 or 6 songs from a new album in a row, to me that's pretty gutsy. And would Queensryche be able to go out and just do, a 2-hour show of nothing but best of? Can you do that?
Oh yeah, we've done that actually.
Is it interesting to you though?
Well, yes and no. For me, I like performing.
Right.
I like singing songs, and I like that part of the job.
Okay.
I really, really like the new music, though. I mean, that's
right.
Kind of more where my head is at, is making music.
Okay.
And then presenting it, talking about it, and hearing people's feedback on it.
Now, with American Soldier, when I've talked to you in the past, we had talked about you weren't a big fan of George Bush, and you weren't a big fan of the war at the time, and now you're doing an album that's a tribute to the soldiers. Why did you decide to do that?
Really to tell their story.
Okay.
And kind of step away from the politics and the Hollywood sales pitch, but to actually tell the soldiers' point of view, their side of it, which is really different and I think important to ask. If you hate war,
right,
why not learn everything there is to know about it in order to put an end to it? The only way you can really understand something is by communicating about it, talking about it, and studying it, and exploring it. And who better to ask than the people that have done it and been there, experienced it. None of us
right.
have ever done it or been there. None of us have any way of commenting on it. There's absolutely no experience. So, and most people I know have never been in war, in a battle, had a gun pointed at them, had to risk their life like that.
And now you sat down with the soldiers to get their point of view. Has it changed anything for you in how you view the war, or has it just changed just your personal self, your being?
Well, I have a much higher respect for journalism after being involved in this project.
Right.
Having to, interview people, it's definitely difficult, to get complete sentences from people and complete, thoughts without, yes and no answers, that kind of thing.
Oh, those are the best, aren't they?
Yeah, boy. You have to keep digging and asking the same question a number of different ways in order to finally get an answer, And especially for this, because the plan was to use the audio,
right,
of the soldiers actually speaking. And so you wanted to have, real clear, concise sound bites, that you could, use. And, boy, that was difficult to do.
Now, Queensryche over the years have done a lot of, and I don't want to say concept albums, but albums with themes. Is that something you're going to continue, or do you think you could make an album of just 10 songs that talk about, good times on the weekend?
Well, that might be a theme to explore at some point.
Because you've never really done that. You've sort of been the thinking man's band. Is that something that you could do, or do you have a next theme that you plan on exploring on the next album?
Oh yeah. We have a new album that we're working on now.
It never ends, huh?
No. Well, yeah. I hope it doesn't ever, because I guess that would mean that dead. Because that's what we do. I don't know. I like personally to take big subjects and to talk about that and explore that, and a great way to do that musically is by breaking down the big subject into smaller subjects called songs.
Right.
You can really explore something that way, and I like the LP format of, or not the LP, but the record album format, of a large body of work, in one place that you can sink yourself into, And so far, what's really challenging for Queensryche, and what we've been trying to do all these years and never quite done it, is create an album that has a very even feel throughout the whole thing. We tend to sort of make more of a dynamic album that has ups and downs, and that kind of thing. And we'd like to kind of make a record that was all kind of one feel all the way through, but we haven't been able to do that yet.
Still working on it.
Still working on it, yeah. Probably the closest we've got is maybe Promised Land, but that still had, quite a few ups and downs.
Still one of my favorite Queensryche albums ever.
Yeah, one of my favorite too. I like that record a lot.
Now, you've got about 4 shows left. I guess you're going to take a break. Then do you just go back in the studio and start working on a new album, or do you plan for the next tour?
Yeah. Well, we're actually touring sporadically up until December.
Oh, that's right, because you're doing, I forgot about Australia and Japan.
Yeah, we're going there, and we have another round of shows in the States, and then we finish off in Europe in December.
Okay.
But, yeah, we're actually starting studio work next week.
Wow.
I'm excited about that.
Is there a theme to this album? To the new album?
Well, actually, we have like a lot of different projects. All of us are engaged in solo projects, plus the Queensryche album. I've got three projects in the works right now that are in various states.
Wow.
Two of them are for films, soundtracks, and a score for a movie that I'm working on.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about, because we had spoken about a movie in the past. You were writing a movie like 5-6 years ago. Is that still in progress?
Well, I'm actually involved with 3 movies.
Okay.
Two actually right now. One that I'm doing only the music for.
Okay.
And then one I'm doing some acting in and the music.
Okay.
So the acting one is supposed to start shooting here in October. And it's funny working in the movie end of things, because it's not like you can just make music, and do your thing, write the record, finish it, go out and tour and present it. Movies take so much more other people involved, and budgeting and financing, and with the whole world economic crisis that just went down, a lot of movies lost their funding and had to go to other places to get it. A lot of foreign funding now. So that was a real kind of setback on one of the films I was involved with. But now they got new funding and they're moving ahead now.
And do you know when that might be released, or?
Oh, no, I have no idea when the release is.
Now you're also doing
Not yet.
the Geoff Tate wines. How did you get involved in doing the wines?
Well, that's a really fun project.
I bet it is.